The voice of sharing. dü人ASEAN.
Hi, this is Arlene. I'm back again. This time is our blast from the grassroots. We have here Vince Tan. He is the Secretary General of the Progressive University of Malaya. And he is here with us because he's going to discuss on the memorandum that was sent on Monday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a memorandum on academic freedom in local universities. So just to give a background, what happened on Monday was a group of University Malaya students submitted a memorandum and petition to the Pakatan Rakyat MP seeking for academic freedom in their university. So it is signed by 186 signatures of by students and being handed over to the Pakatan MPs such as MP Zairil K. Johari, Dr. On Kian Ming, Nurul Iza Anwar, Sim Zsin.
Nurul Iza wasn't there.
Nurul Iza was there. Okay.
And Stephen Sim.
And Stephen Sim. So, just to give a background, what actually happened was the press conference was at 11 o'clock in the morning when you handed the memorandum to the Pakatan MPs. While at 10:45 a.m., actually they were sold one only, but from the Barisan National MP.
Yeah, we sort of bumped into him.
And he also received the memorandum. And he's actually the Barisan National Kuala Selangor Member of Parliament, Datuk Dr. Haji Irmo Hizam. So, Vince Tan, tell me more about the academic freedom in local university before we start going into the, what happened during the press conference.
Okay, regarding the academic freedom in local universities, this is not something new, and it has happened every now and then. You'll see infringement towards students' academic freedom rights. This issue of academic freedom came to our attention, and we started this campaign on academic freedom after Dato' Ambiga Srinivasan was supposed to be speaking in last Saturday. Last Saturday. And she was barred because the initial approval of the event for her to speak was retracted last minute. So, the reason for the retract was there was an initial conditional approval for the event, meaning the organizers can let Dato' Ambiga speak, but they must find another pro-government speaker to balance up the view. But however, it's a talk on public interest litigation. So how is it possible to be balanced up? It's a lecture.
Yeah.
So the students feel it's absurd. So they just ignore it and carry on. The approval was later retracted and causing the issue here. This is the second time in the month of March where academic freedom in University Malaya was compromised. Another event was a talk on Anwar Ibrahim's sodomy trial, organized by students in the arts and social science faculty. But it was forced to be cancelled because of higher ups pressure.
I'm just wondering, this has nothing to do with partisan politics, right? When it comes to academic freedom.
Yeah, it's the right of students to organize activities. Alright, but however, we see double standards being practiced in the university when pro-government speakers are always encouraged, but there are always hindrances towards speakers who do not share the same aspirations as the establishment or the government. And we see a lot of events, activities wanted to be organized, but being blocked by the higher ups.
I see. And besides being in terms of organizing events that is being blocked, majoritarily being blocked by the government when it comes to certain speakers, what about the research and teaching in university? Do they have academic freedom?
One thing about University Malaya, you still have academic freedom to a certain extent. Yes, in your academic writing, you write freely, but there are certain limitations or things we must be careful, because the university are usually very particular when it touches on any issue relating to opposition leaders or NGO leaders who do not share the same aspirations as the university. So when I talk academic freedom lectures, when lecturers are lecturing, certain lecturers might feel not that comfortable to talk about politics, but some they still do, right? Because they still feel that academic freedom needs to be advocated. And because it's one of the core values of the university.
Yeah, when it comes to academic freedom, what about political participation by lecturers and students themselves? Is it something that is being barred by the university?
Okay, previously, before 2012, the University and University Scholars Act is an act governing student participation in politics. Section 15 of the act bars students from being able to express or join political parties, trade unions, which or even express support to all these trade unions, NGOs, which the university does not favor. And the repercussion is you might get suspended or expelled for your actions. But after 2012, the act was amended to give students their right to participate in politics. All this was due to students' pressure. Alright, starting from 2011, there was an academic freedom campaign by students. And the government decided to amend the University and University College Act to give more liberty for students.
I see.
But
so
it's shortcoming, of course.
It is, yeah, that's true. Talking about the memorandum, which was submitted on Monday, can you explain more like what was written in the memorandum?
The memorandum, first we explain on the background, like what I just told you on Dato' Ambiga's incident. And we made a few demands, particularly for the university not to practice double standards in approval of university academic activities. Because there was a lecture by Tun Dr. Mahathir on poverty issues in University Malaya, particularly the Faculty of Law. No restriction whatsoever, and he was given red carpet treatment. The same cannot be said for those speakers who are not affiliated with the government whatsoever. So there are always hindrances, bureaucratic hindrances especially when getting the approval. You usually will either get the answer very late or you won't get an answer at all. So this discourages students from actually trying to organize their own activities.
So in that sense, what you're saying is students and lecturers should be given full freedom in terms of choosing whoever they want to invite to speak.
Yes, because I trust everyone knows that being an academician or being a student, a mahasiswa, you know how to behave responsibly in what you're doing. So particularly in your organizing activities or even academic research or lecturing in class, you know what to do. And in exchange for this responsibility, the university respects that, but you must be responsible.
I see.
It's two ways.
So talking about student in university, we have students' politics, right? In that sense, you can vote for the students, and students can become student representative council or the student union. I'm just wondering, what's the difference between student union and student council and all this different student movement within university? It's kind of
confusing.
It's confusing.
It has a very rich history. I brought together with me a book. It's called Student Activism in Malaysia. It's by Meredith L. Weiss. It's very good. It documents all the student activities and all that. So I'll go into what is the difference between the student council and student union. You see, before the existence of the University and University College Act, that was 1971, there was this students' union where students run the university via their union. And academicians, administration, they run the university as on administrative part. But when relating to student welfare, bus, food, finance of students have full autonomy. But after the 1971 UUCA, University and University College Act was enacted, we see this student union being replaced with a student council who has no autonomy but only advisory role to the university. Yes, they are elected. That is probably the most significant thing about the student council, but they don't have the autonomy. But yet they still play a role voicing out the concerns and voices of students to the highest forum available in the university.
When you say they don't have autonomy, what is the restriction on them?
First, they have no financial power is very limited, especially when it comes to funds, because university, all the money, clubs and all that is held by a body called Hal Ehwal Pelajar, HEP. In English, it means Students Affairs Division. So everything for all your projects, activities, you need their approval first before you can get the money. And second is you have no veto power in the decision of the university. The university can just make a decision. They don't even have to consult the student council. And you can voice out your dissatisfaction as a student council member, but your advice need not be taken.
Okay. So, when it comes to the student movement, are you foreseeing any student movement happening anytime soon?
I said the momentum started in 2011. Before that, students were not that vocal. But I think possibly it's the aftermath of the 2008 elections. We've seen liberalized democracy in Malaysia. Students start to stand out, particularly after 2011. And it built until until the 13th January election in 2013, where students started to play a very important role again in the Malaysian politics. And right now, maybe after the election, we see student movement being a bit dull. Because of the fatigue, political fatigue after fighting for so long. So it takes time before when issues come up, they start to fight again for their relative student issues.
Yeah. I'm quite curious to know about the student movement in Malaysia. Are they partisan or they are actually quite autonomous, as in like quite independently thinking for the rights of the youth rather than, we are for this party, for that party?
Majority of this student movement is actually not independent and non-partisan. There is actually a very strong group called Solidarity Mahasiswa Malaysia, SMM. They are the one usually coordinating all the movements, especially the anti-PTN rally. Alright, but there are groups of students who are partisan politics as well, who belong to political party, but not in they are not in a significant large number as compared to SMM and other movements. Right? There is another one is DEMA, which is a Democratic Youth Student Right Party movement, more on a Chinese base. And there are also the Islamic Students Movement, right, which you can see, which has always been there from the 70s or 60s onwards. I think they are the ones that are keeping student movement alive.
So I guess it is safe to say that the student movement in Malaysia, it is growing and it is actually quite independent from any political forces that is out there.
It's evolving. See, we are moving towards the direction that in the future we might see student movement coming from political parties as well, because the problem of political parties, they don't have students much, so that is why there's no partisan student movement that much, except for maybe Parti Keadilan Rakyat, PKR. They have their own student wing, right? That's it.
I see. Okay, moving on to the press conference that happened on Monday. What was the feedback of the members of parliament that were there?
Several issues were being touched besides academic freedom. The UUCA Act is a particular one. YB Zaria Kyo Johari calls for the abolishment of the UUCA, because ever since that act was enacted, you see the results in the university, the ranking, the performance have dropped, because we are no longer able to touch on certain important academic research, as well as students are merely being made as robots working just for the sake of studying. They're studying for the sake of studying, but they are not connected to the real world, and they are trained for a world that does not exist, because you're only confined to study your particular subject, and you not encouraged to do all these political activities, organizing your own activities, your things that can help build up your soft skills. So the problem with the UUCA is it turns university into a certificate producing factory, where you produce degrees but not human capital. And I think you have read in newspapers the inability to produce human capital, quality human capital, affects our economy.
So it's like a catch-22 situation where the government is complaining, Malaysians youth are not being creative enough, being in the forefront in terms of dynamic and innovative. But at the same time, we are being suppressed in terms of how we can voice out our...
Yes. I think youth will always be creative, sometimes stubborn, hard-headed, but they have ideas. But the problem is realizing their ideas with limited resources. That is the situation now. That's why only few really actually make it big when it comes to student movement or even in a career. Well, what we need right now as a solution is the government needs to provide a platform, opportunity for them to express themselves properly, particularly help them to make their ideas into reality. Funding has always been there. You look at the national budget every year, but it's what we do to this with the money for the budget to help these students perform.
So it is also safe to say that the memorandum is not it's not a way to say that we are anti-government. In fact, you are there to say that the government need to change.
We made very reasonable demands, alright, and also very simple demands which can be fulfilled. Particularly liberalizing the bureaucracy, alright, helping students with more student-friendly policies, helping them approve those events without much hassle. And thus, you're already creating a platform helping them to express themselves. Because organizing and management of activities is a way to train your soft skills. And besides that, the double standards in organizing of activities and approval of activities by the university once you get this thing there, you have two views. Right? Once you're no longer double standard, students are able to access knowledge from both pro-government side or pro-opposition and gauge which is much better. And it helps you to train your critical thinking and help you differentiate from what is right and wrong. We want students who are be able to think for themselves, not taught how to think.
I see.
Not taught what to think, but how to think.
So any last message in terms of academic freedom or maybe future plans on trying to sort of propagate this, not propagate, but in terms of spreading this movement?
I think the public has to know what is academic freedom. Academic freedom is a freedom to venture into knowledge in every field, which is not just confined to just students but also academicians. And we hope that with this academic freedom campaign that has been done, and media coming out news and all, it can help create public awareness. And indirectly, students also become aware of this what we call academic freedom and start to stand up for what is right when it comes to their rights.
So thank you, Vincent. All the best.
Thank you.